Hattie. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. And if you are a bigot, that is a terrible character flaw. Hokey smokes. I have been outside to the community center. It is gray and it's chill, kind of moist. You know, it's going to be that kind of day. Thumbs up. But I just wanted to mention before I go on to any of the rest of the stuff, I have had the devil's own time trying to get this recorded. This is like the 14th time, literally, that I have started, and each of the times that I have been recording, I've gone on for a good 3 or 4 minutes. The last time, well, the time before the last time, I realized I had somehow not clicked the record button, and so I'd been talking to the camera turned off for 3 minutes, and then I started again, but didn't do my intro, so now I'm doing it again for the 14th time. So thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. There is a vast multitude of material available here on this website, and whether you're using the app or you're using a web browser, and you chose to watch me for at least a small amount of time, thumbs up. Thank you. It is appreciated. And to show furthermore, Daniel Fuller 8762, Sir Schmuckle, Blue Toad 6456, Kitsune WY4HG, Foamy FOMIELE, yes, L or a 1. Now I probably a 1337. Kind of leet speaky there. Each one of these people went and wrote down the secret word that I like to say in the video to let YouTube know that people watch the video, and, you know, blatant engagement farming. But it's a fun and silly little game. No one has to do it. Very few people choose to. But of those people that do, thumbs up. Thank you. It is appreciated. Very, very much so. I did not write down a lot, but that's just because my brain is functioning on a purely superficial level. But I had a med manager appointment today. I've gotten my appointment scheduled for 2 months from now. I have medications, made sure that I can get them renewed and refilled, and that's a very good thing. So thumbs up on that. And it is noon. I've been 15 minutes trying to get this done. Yay. Now, yesterday, I talked a bit about Dagoth and how people, you know, from the game Morrowind, Elder Scrolls, where if you know anything about the game, you know that in the game Morrowind, Dagoth was the villain. Except, I don't know. He was and he wasn't, because he wasn't wrong while he wasn't right, except in the end, he was right. Morrowind ended up destroyed, and it was because of the failing of the tribunal that this meteor that Vivek had been holding up above the city that was going to slam into the island, when his power failed, whammo, and then Red Mountain blew up, and all of the dark elves are refugees. Yay on that. But he was right. But Morrowind should have been for the Dark Elves. The way he went about it was all wrong. You know, trying to just murder everyone that, number one, wasn't from Morrowind, or number two, didn't believe exactly the way he wanted it to come about. So, he wasn't right, but he wasn't wrong. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. Past that, I have not been able to do much with my nerve compression issues. I have not been able to do a whole lot that I can either game or any other fashion. Except at the same time, because we've been fully out of the holidays and it's brighter outside, I've become much more interested in things again, which means I need to use my hands. I have a stack of my notebooks of things, along with the printed out book of White Box Fantasy Medieval Adventure Game. of a bunch of solo RPG stuff, and I'm getting excited about it again. The winter is bad for me. I have seasonal affective disorder, and my wife died, right way back then. Well, that was her favorite time of year. She actually died March 19th. So that was like not that long ago, a couple days. So yay on that, but thumbs up. Where was I going with all that? Oh, yes. So I've got a whole bunch of things, and that white box thing, even though it was done in 2017, there is still a lot of people that play it, and it is a good little OSR. I can't even remember what OSR stands for anymore. Like original system. No, God's above. I really can't even remember it all. But it's an old school throwback type with a little bit of modern stuff, but mostly old school role playing, where not a lot of rules for it and a lot of GM interpretation. And even at that, there's a million little optional things, and they tell you, hey, it's your game. You bought it. It's now yours. If you want to make any sort of house rule, if you want to do whatever you want to it, it's your game. Do it. Now, the thing is, on another sort of side tangent, just on the game White Box, it's based on the game Swords and Wizardry. But the thing is, it's so based on the game Swords and Wizardry. It's like the game Swords and Wizardry for free if you just download it online, or if you buy it in a book, like $7, instead of getting the big $20 Swords and Wizardry book. There's a thing called White Box Companion for Swords and Wizardry White Box. And it's all just Swords and Wizardry. Does not mention any other game system on there. And it's fully compatible with White Box Fantasy Medieval Adventure game. Down to the way the stat boxes are done with the same stats. So, yeah. But I've been reading the book. And I've been bringing out my notebooks so I can be reading the rules again. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. Not just because of my ADHD, but because depression. Now, I talked with my therapist and I talked with my med manager about this. Generally, my mood has been coming up because leaving the holidays, my wife's anniversary of her death is past. It's getting lighter. My mood has been coming up like this. But if you take a look at the United States, my mood is being driven on a thing like this. I am going like this at the same time and meeting in the middle. That's where I am, right in that middle point. Yay. But still, life is life. I don't really want to do current events. I don't want to talk about current events. Not for any sort of, afraid of offending anyone. I mean, I talk about, killing and eating human beings as a food source, as something we should do. I'm not worried about offending people. I do not think that we should kill and eat human beings. Consent is important. So if someone volunteers to be broken down and eaten, yeah. Consent is important. Ethical and moral sourcing. Which means, of course, you don't just take somebody who just had a bad day and so decides that it's time to become steaks. So, but that's just my view on it. If you took a look at, like, the show Futurama, the goofiness of that with their self-deletion systems. There was no check in there for, was it a bad day or is it just something that you've been thinking about? Doesn't matter. It costs this much money. So, yay on that. I mean, again, I know the difference between fiction and reality. I just thought it was funny on that. But I wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about characters and situations and such like that. I have talked about, with my cryptid setting, there is a cryptid presence that I am having a lot of nerve compression symptoms. If I have not mentioned that, that is why I'm not using my arms as much. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, but I've been using my arms and it's getting there. So I've got to be careful or I'm going to lose them. But now, where was I on that? I was talking about character. Oh, yes. Everybody has a cryptid presence. But in gamified terms, if you are 50 or below, you are a regular human being. You have no cryptid presence. Your third eye isn't open. You're just blind to the cryptid world. But if once you hit 51, your cryptid senses open up and you start being able to access the cryptid world. You can see it. You can interact with it. Whereas a normal person, there's no ideas. And cryptids, of course, have a high cryptid presence. But just like people with their third eye open, which is just a human being who was going to become a cryptid, but because of a genetic defect, did not finish the final step of the process, which was converting your normal matter body to cryptid energy body matter. And they were, because of a genetic flaw, that did not happen. And so you're a human body, but a cryptid in every other way, except you cannot consciously access any of that. But cryptids see you as a different kind of individual. And effectively, one eye they see you as human, the other eye they see you as cryptid. It takes about a day of being around you, and then it merges into one thing where you don't look exactly like a cryptid. You don't look exactly like a human. You look like a person with their third eye that's open. And the third eye open is just you have a cryptid presence now, but nobody knows about that sort of thing. The only way that they can interpret it and give words to it is, well, as a human being, your third eye is open. Now you can see the world the way it really is. And, God, now if I can remember, yes, I talked about how there are things called cloakers and dampers. There are artisans that can create focuses that do things. And these focuses are either self-charging and they can continue, or they are charged and it slowly wears out through time. But cloakers and dampers, a cloaker is like just putting a screen in front of a light and no one can tell that there's a lantern back there, so you can pretend to be human. Your cryptid presence has been cloaked to down into normal range, human range. And for a damper, it is like turning the lantern down until it's in normal human range, which is two different ways to do the same thing. But there's also boosters, where someone whose cryptid presence, normal human being, is below 50, but is given a booster. These can have a set amount of cryptid presence within it, and it will add to yours until it runs out. If you get one that has like a 50 cryptid presence, in gamified terms, and you have a 30, you start off with an 80. Now it begins running out immediately, so it goes 80 and then keeps on dropping until it runs out of that 50. Now once it hits 50, you've still got 50 to 30, but your cryptid presence is gone. But once you're above 50, your human, dormant cryptid senses open up and you begin to see the cryptid world, the world as it really is. The beings, the animals, the plant life, The cryptid world is a riotous explosion of plant and animal life, even in the middle of our most industrial cities. The cryptid world is separate from the normal matter world, living exactly behind us and with us, but not a part of us, unless, because there are ways that they can. Dampers, cloakers, boosters for people. There's also, for those cryptids that have to end human lives because of the type of cryptid they are, or because of the genetic defect they have where they need to eat human beings or they will starve to death. Now, where was I going with this? God's above. It had to do with dampers and boosters. ADHD brain. I have forgotten exactly where I was going. I know I was talking about cryptids, but it faded. Just that section of it. Again, I know I was talking about cryptids and looking up there. I just can't remember what I was talking about. It's like someone reaches into my head. They didn't grab the whole wad and pull it out. Just a little chunk of what I was talking about and gone. So I'll talk about this instead. I know it was boosters. And I've talked about cryptids, how there will be a cryptid human romantic pairing. One of the characters that I have, well, two of the characters, there's Kay and Nis. And Kay is just a human being. Her name is Kaylee. She hates that, goes by K, K-A-Y, because of that. And her online nom de plume is just the letter K. She just goes by K. And she's kind of me, except, female and more, because she's very computer oriented, doesn't really understand people, and is on a slow economic decline. She has her computer, she's got her online stuff that she does, and she again, slow economic decline, she's in the last place that she can be before actually becoming homeless. Now, becoming homeless in the cryptid world is dangerous because cryptids that need to eat human beings usually start with the homeless. And she has become friends with another person that is living there, Nis. Nis being an urban cryptid. I remembered what I was talking about, where if a cryptid that needs to eat human beings chooses you as victim, there is a big chance you can see them and interact with them. It's not going to save you, but you become aware of it. You see them coming. It's not just, what's killing me? Arg, I'm dead. It's, oh my God. And then you're going to be gone. But Nis is a cryptid and Kay is fully human. Nis is the daughter of Jacob and Monica Dempsey, a family that I talked about a couple years back, where Jacob is human, but his grandfather was a cryptid. Monica is a human whose mother was human, but father was cryptid, and they have 3 kids, 2 of which are cryptids. Barb and Nis, N-Y-S-S, and the younger daughter, Annie, who's fully human. But Nis is romantically involved with Kay, and at first gave her a booster so that she could see what Nis saw. But as can happen, that booster, once it activated her cryptid parts, they stayed activated through exposure with the booster. So even though Kay never would have been a human being with their third eye open to be able to interact with the cryptid world just on their own, when that booster ran out, she discovered it when it had been like a month and some that she still had it, and she realized that she was still seeing the cryptid world. And Nis told her it was only going to work for like a few days. And Nis just takes it off her, and son of a gun, she's seeing the cryptid world without needing it, because she's now got her third eye open. She was not a failed cryptid, but through exposure, her cryptid side, her cryptid senses have become not her cryptid side. She has no anything else other than her cryptid senses, but she is now a person whose third eye is open, and because of that could largely only interact properly with the cryptid world. The normal world doesn't really want to do anything with you, and it's not a conscious thing, because again, if you have a cryptid presence of like 60 or 70, and you're in a room with a normal human being, they can look right at you and their vision will just slide off, and then once you're out of their focus of point of attention, they forget you're there. So you can't really deal with normal people anymore. The only people you can really meaningfully interact with anymore are cryptids and other people with their third eye open. Because normal people, hey Bob, leaving you just... And hey, call to action, if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that'd be very cool. And if you're a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is greatly appreciated. You help me out so very much. You are beautiful and awesome, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. And if you've left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart every comment that YouTube allows me to, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me, which right now is not anywhere near as many as I would like, but hopefully it's more than zero. So, and of course, did I say this part? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Yay! And I once again did not bring anything nearby to put the secret word on, so if you could write the word spring into the comments to let both me and the YouTube algorithm know that people watch these videos, that would be very, very cool. Again, nobody has to do this, and if you choose to, it is appreciated. I couldn't force you, and I wouldn't even if I could. Consent is very important to me. It's one of those things that has developed through life, and it's one of those things where, it's a good judgment thing. But good judgment comes from experience, and experience is gained from bad judgment. So, yay. Anyway, though, I am going to take care of myself today as best I can, which is going to involve not using my arms a lot, because, oh boy, I went from nothing at all to I got 2 knives up in I can speak English, I promise you. You've heard me speak English properly. You know I can do it. I know I can do it. It feels like 2 knives in my upper back, between my shoulder blades and my spine. I can English. It doesn't feel like it at times. Not all the times. Just, it's not... I mean, it's a combination of senior moment, ADHD, and when I say senior moment, I mean everybody gets these. It doesn't matter what age you are, you forget stuff and you feel dumb when you do so. It happens throughout your life. I did it before I was a teenager. I did it as a teenager. I did it as a young adult, and now as I'm not geriatric yet, but as an older adult, I'm still doing it. Only now, of course, because of my age, I look upon it with fear when I shouldn't, because it's just a human thing. Anyway, hopefully you get done the things that you would like to get done. That would be very cool. And if not, please do not beat yourself up. That will not help you get it done better next time. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And of course, I talk forever in my videos, and I've had positive reinforcement on by people saying we'd like longer videos, and that has happened through the years. And so I've started going from just 20 minutes to up to a half hour. But I have had fairly recently comments that say, like, hey, I did see you in my YouTube recommendations, and I think it's awesome that you're doing something, but I am not going to watch a 26-minute video of somebody I don't know just talking. And yeah, I understand that too. So, hey, thumbs up. Anyway, you take care. I am going to edit, render, and then let my bloody nerves and muscles relax. Holy smokes. I really don't want them to cut me open and chunk out bits of bone to free up my nerves, but